Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees for today's Bhakti Shastri class. In the last class, we have seen the 16th chapter, the divine and demonic nature. And at the end of this chapter, Krishna is telling Arjuna in the 23rd verse that Ya Shastra Vidhi Musrijya Vartate Kamakarataha Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti Na Sukham Na Paramgatyam. That means a person who is disregarding the scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims, then he is a asura or he is a demon and he will not be able to attain the perfection. That is the conclusion in the previous chapter. Now, what is the need for 17th chapter here? In 17th chapter, there is a category of people who are in between. Those who follow the scriptures, they are divine. And those who don't follow the scriptures, they are demonic. But generally, people neither demonic nor divine. They will be following some injunctions which are created by themselves, or they will do whatever possible for them, which is not exactly mentioned in the Shastra. They will create their own way of worship, or their own faith will be there. And if they find something very difficult, then they will give it up. So such people where we should consider, are they demonic or they divine? They cannot be considered as divine because they are not strictly following the instructions of the Shastra. At the same time, they are not demonic because they are not doing any harm to others, but they are in ignorance, or they are sometimes lazy, because of which they are not able to follow the instructions, or they are not able to follow the Shastra. Now, Arjuna's question will start with the same. Where do these people will belong? So Krishna introduces another concept here, that is the modes. The three modes we have studied earlier, how three modes are acting on us, what are the characters of a person under different modes. These modes can be used for categorizing these people also. The people with different kinds of faith. What kind of faith a person has, based on that, we can categorize it as goodness, passion, and ignorance. So that is the subject matter of this 17th chapter, where Krishna explains different types of faith that people are having, based in which they are situated, in whatever mode the person may be situated, based on that mode, he is acting or he is practicing or he is doing some kind of practice, because of which he is able to progress in his own way. So let us start with the 17th chapter. The name of the chapter is The Divisions of Faith, chapter 17. Shri Shri Radha Govind ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the last class, we have seen the 16th chapter and how it is linked with the 15th chapter that we have seen. The 15th chapter is talking about upside down tree, and the 16th chapter is giving the fruits of that tree. And Abhijatasya, how these demonic people are born with such kind of qualities, and when they grow up, all these qualities will be visible. And examples for divine and demonic natures from the current world affairs, we have discussed this as a group discussion. And examples for Ugra Karma from the current society, and what is the destination of a person who develop this kind of demonic nature with reference to the Bhagavad Gita. Lesson 4, Divisions of Faith. Now 16 to 17, where Krishna has concluded the shloka or the text number 23, that is Ya Shastra Vidimutsrijya Vartate Kamakarataha. Arjuna asked the same question. So the text is same. The first line is almost similar. There it is Ya Shastra Vidimutsrijya Vartate Kamakarataha, 23rd in the 16th chapter. And first shloka, the first text in the 17th chapter is also same. That is Ya Shastra Vidimutsrijya Yajante Shraddhayanvita Tesham Nishtatu Ka Krishna Sattwamaho Rajastamaha. So that is the question Arjuna is asking to Krishna. This is the answer or the conclusion of previous chapter. He who disregards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. So what conclusion we can come here? One who is following the Shastra, he is divine, and one who is not following the Shastra, he is demonic. Now Arjuna's question in the 17th chapter, that is Ya Shastra Vidimutsrijya Yajante Shraddhayanvita. Now if one with faith follows some rules which are not mentioned in the scriptural injunctions, what is his position? Where does he stand? Is he divine or demonic, or what kind of person he may be? Because this is generally happening in the society. People just follow what they can, and they just give up what they cannot, and they hear from so many sources, and they start their own practices which are not exactly mentioned in the Shastra. There are many reasons why they do that. One is the ignorance, other one is the laziness or the fear of losing the health or the pain, bodily pain. All these things can be the reason for not following the Shastra properly. And also following the Shastra also, the reason may be the fear of these problems may arise in the life. So they just want to keep all demigods peacefully, so that they will help us and we will also be living peacefully. So there is some expectation from the demigods. So in this way, people are just following some kind of faith they have. Now, after listening to this question from Arjuna, Lord Krishna immediately explains about 3 modes. Because this question can be answered with the help of 3 modes. Trivida bhavati shraddha. Shraddha means faith. Now, Arjuna, what question you are asking? That is, that people, those who are whimsically creating their own rules and regulations and following it, that can be categorized into three parts. One is sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna, or goodness, passion, and ignorance. Dehinam sa swabhavaja, according to his mode of material nature. A person who has taken the material body, he will be in either of these three modes, either sattva guna or rajo guna or tamo guna, based on what kind of life he is leading. The person will be in any one of these modes. Because he is having that mode, the activities that he performs will also be affected by such kind of modes. Just like a person who is in the sattva guna, when somebody goes and talks to him, or when somebody goes and asks for some help, how he behaves, it is different from a person who is in rajoguna. When a person is in rajoguna, if you go and talk to him, or if you ask for some help or any inquiry if you do, then how he reacts, that is different. And when a person is in tamoguna, he will react in a different way. So why it is happening? Because the person has developed such kind of mode. That mode is controlling him. It's like a coloring. A person who is wearing a red color spectacles, whole world will look red. Similarly, a person who is in rajoguna, whatever activity he is performing, the mode of rajoguna or mode of passion will be visible in his activity. Or a person who is in a tamoguna, that mode will be visible whenever he performs any activity. Generally, people keep lamenting for no reason. So such kind of things are symptoms of tamoguna. Even if there is no problem, people just take something from the past and they lament on that, or they will think something about the future and fear about it. So all these things are coming. Shoka, moha, bhaya. Anybody would like to read? They can raise their hand. Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Divisions of faith. As long as one's faith is not completely in purified goodness, the faith is subject to contamination by any of the modes of material nature. The contaminated modes of material nature expand to the heart. Therefore, according to the position of the heart in contact with a particular mode of material nature, one's faith is established. 17.3 Parpad. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the purified goodness is sattva, Shuddha Sattva, where the person is completely free from all the three modes. This is possible only by surrendering to Krishna. That is, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi, Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mameva ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. A person who has surrendered to Krishna can cross over the three modes of material nature, and he can be situated in the purified goodness. But unless the person comes to that position, he will be in either of these three modes, and based on that, he will be acting. And it will be contaminating the heart. That is, whatever mode he is present, his heart will be acting, or the emotions, whatever he is having, or the thinking, whatever he is doing, it all be contaminated with the same kind of mode. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Divisions of faith. So people are being controlled by the three kinds of material nature, and if they do not follow the Shastric injunction, then he will concoct. He will create something according to his position, either in the Tamoguna or Rajoguna or Sattvaguna.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So based on three modes, the person is going to create his own way of activity, the faith. Puja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Madhu.
He is going on conducting himself under the influence of the same modes of nature, but those means superficially doing something in the tamoguna, he will not be successful. He will not be successful. Iya Shastra Vidhi Mustrujya Vartate Kama. Bhagavad Gita 17.1 to 3.
Thank you.
Honolulu, July 4, 1974. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. The perfection is not possible when a person is under three modes. Perfection, what is the perfection? It is the ultimate perfection of life is to go back to Godhead. That is not possible when a person is in these three modes of material nature. A person is acting according to three modes because he is not able to come out of that mode. And as long as he is there in that mode, he is maintaining that same kind of mode. His all activities gets contaminated with it, and he will not be successful in his endeavor. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Division of faith. Thus we find different types of faith in this world, and there are different types of religions due to different types of faith. 17.3 purport. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mother. Now, Prabhupada is telling here, based on different kinds of faith people are following, we can find different practices of spirituality. Even though it is not explained or it is not given in the Shastra, people do work in that mode, and they get entangled, and they will not be able to come to the perfection in their life. So there is a activity now here. Give specific reference to Krishna's analysis of faith in the modes as described in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, verses 1 to 3 in your presentation. Compare these practices to the practice of Krishna consciousness. And then, yeah, these are the 2 points. You can take the examples of the present society, but do not name any of the organization or a person. You can take only the principles but are being followed, which is not being said in the Shastra, but still people are following such kind of practices. If you have any questions regarding the activity, you can raise your hand. Okay, if you don't have any questions, then we'll start the group. Now there are 11 people. So if I make 3 groups, 3 people in a group, 3 to 4 people, that will be enough. So you have 5 minutes for discussion, 2 minutes for presentation. I'll make 3 groups.
Sri Guru Sri Gita Padakamalam Sri Guru Sri Krishna Krishna Pada Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, welcome back to the discussion. Anu Mataji, you can start.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Lord says that according to the modes acquired, your faith is also of three kinds: goodness, passion, or ignorance. So, from the practical examples I can think of in my place where I live, I can give example of mode of ignorance where we have an ashram in a farmhouse, and it is a very popular for the Delhi rich people. They all go to that ashram, and there is tea prasad. You have tea and prasad, and the prasad you have to share it with 4 people. It can be at random. Like one plate is given to you, and if you are by chance 2 people with you, 2 other whom you don't even know will be sharing it, and you have and I'm not saying that, but why should I put the why should I share my plate with anybody? You know, even if it's a prasad, why should anybody touch it and I should offer? And tea prasad is mandatory. They say it is very important. Sangeet, a very beautiful melodious bhajan which keeps on going, and there is a samadhi of the guru who is now no longer there, but he's revered very much, and people go to him, and we have every big car in Delhi would have his name behind their thing, and he's very popular with the rich class. And I believe it is okay. As I used to say, my father used to say, sometimes some people have some mystic powers, and if he's able to give those blessings to somebody, then he is popular. So don't think that he's good or bad. Just think it is a way of God, and he gave some benedictions, and some people benefited, and now he's the king, though now he's no longer there. So I feel that is people following him blindly, going there. It is in mode of ignorance. And then in mode of passion, I went for typing today because I don't have a PC at home, so I get my things typed for the answers. So there was in the queue, there was another lady. She was a teacher in a convent school, and she was overhearing my whatever I was getting typed for the answer, which open book assignment. And there was what I had written was, I am elevating myself through deity worship at home. I do aartis. So she was nice. She was younger to me. And she then introduced herself. She said, I've heard the entire answer. What is this for? So I told her. So Venka, what are you getting these printouts for? She said, I study in this, teach in this convent, and I am converted. So I said, why? What were you before your conversion? Yeah, I was like you. And she was by chance from the same school I was, though she was younger to me. So I said, okay, Yati, no, I'm from this faith, and now I've converted. And I'm working there. It's a good school in Delhi where she's working as a teacher. So I said, okay, Kathy, yeah, my parents also converted. I converted. I'm married also to a person who's from that faith only, and we later on converted. I saw her husband also. He seemed also very educated and things like that. So I asked the typist who, she's a frequent. I said, how is it that she seems so well thing and everything? Keta, it is the monetary lure. She was offered, given a book to read. She read it. She liked it. She made friends and she followed the journey, and it was beneficial for her in a material way, because by us being associated with them, she got an avenue where she was an opportunity and the job and everything associated. So I think it was a lot of passion, and she had come out to get printouts of English books. Like they teach their children English books. So she had cuttings, colored printouts from that book. So I believe this is a mode of passion that you don't consider where you're going in life, and you leave you leave it as it is. Because I've seen so many others now, they don't even know their gotra, because they've rejected it. It is over for them. They had it before, but they leave it. Then they say, we don't have such kind of nonsense. I say it is not nonsense, it is lineage. At least you should have known that lineage before rejecting it. No, we don't believe in such thing. So I think that is in mode of ignorance and passion. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna. Any other groups? Akhila Mataji. I'm sorry, yeah. Hare Krishna. Your audio is less. Yeah, now it's better.
Actually, see, when I ask many people to follow Krishna consciousness, they're not interested at all, to be fact. Like, if not Krishna consciousness, I ask them to follow Nishkama Karma. Even for that also, the most of them are not interested. They tell Sakama Karma, Sakama Bhakti will give inspiration and aspiration to live. Otherwise, it's like a dead person. No? Most of them don't like. Even why, I don't know. Most of the people don't like simple things. So I'll tell one example for this. There was one person's son was suffering from schizophrenia. It's some psychological mental disorder. That actually, but according to that, that his son is completely in hallucination, full of illusion. Can't mingle with the people, always sitting in the dark room, shouting. So these type of symptoms we can see. So he tried in N number of ways. Then finally he failed to do that. So finally what he did, he consulted an astrologer. So that astrologer, he told everything is because of karma. So karma means prarabdha karma and part of sanchita karma. So prarabdha karma cannot be changed, cannot be altered, and even astrologers can modify the fate, by doing some social activities, some chanting, some devotional service, but they can't do that. So that's why what he did, he suggested one Mahakali mantra and asked him to chant regularly. Since he is vegetarian, so no problem, you can chant, and he told. So what this person did, he did for 1 week. Then he was he thought it's waste of time. Then he went second astrologer. They're now Karnataka, Kerala, border, somewhere there. He went there. So what that person told me is it's everything is all your karma, everything is good. And you have Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga means actually it is life without hurdle. Raja means it's not like King Yoga. So its name is Raja Yoga. So, but life without hurdles. Happy life. That is Raja Yoga. Oh, Raja Yoga. Then he asked why it is why he is suffering. Then he told, the ancestors, Atma has got not liberated. It's wandering there and here. It's because of Bhuta, Preta, Pichati. He told like that. And asked him to do so many remedies. So he did. Even now also no improvement. So what I mean to say is, the Sattvic method, first astrologer has said him, but no one has faith. Why, I don't know. Currently, many times I've seen, they don't have faith in Krishna consciousness. Instead that they're very like curious about the complicating the things. Like complication, they like it. If it is less expensive, like very easy method, no one likes it. I don't know.
Yes, thank you, Mother. People don't believe in the right path, but their faith is in different way because it is all in which mode they are in and what practices they do and their karma also. The faith in Krishna, the sattvic faith comes only for pious people. If your sinful reactions are too much, then person will not get the faith in that. So it is very difficult, and also the compassion from a devotee that is also needed to get a faith in the Lord. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Very good.
Any other one more group? No more discussion. Okay. Yeah, Lata Mataji, Hare Krishna.
I have Hare Krishna Prabhuji. People who are in distress, especially, or the people who are poor and who are in distress with a lot of family problems and all, if somebody gives them some kind of solace, they switch on to that faith, Prabhuji. I have seen my own, circle, that is the maid servants and others, they get shifted, they get converted because the children get school education, they get some kind of employment and things like that. Similarly, in our own this thing, there are some people who feel that when we were very young, Prabhuji, in my house, we follow that they are all Sri Vidya Upasakas, my grandmother and my mother and all. So all the ladies sit and they do a lot of pujas and things like that. One among the very elderly person, she gets possessed with the goddess. And people fall, and I've also fallen and taken blessings and things like that. But the thing is, initially it was started like that. Later on, they started calling her to the house and treating her like goddess, giving her gifts and things like that. And then she started giving them solution to their problems. It happened like that she was giving some solutions to their problems and their problems were getting solved. And slowly they started calling and things like that. So what I feel is this is ignorance, and with their, what do they call, Muda Namaka, they just go, and slowly people came out of it and they said, ours is only worshipping and doing things, but like this, there are initially start off with the good intention, and slowly because of their whatever benefit they get, whether it is material or name or fame or knowing people around them, giving them that kind of a thing, that faith is they are using it in a wrong way. Many of the groups and many of the religious practices use these things just to exploit people who are in distress, people who are, they are challenged economically and things like that. And I was just telling my this thing, why don't you come to ISKCON temple? She told me it's for rich. And many of them, Prabhuji, they've told it's for rich people. I said, why do you say that? No, I have seen people going there are all very rich people. We are all poor people. And for us, these things are better. Because you told me not to mention the religion, who does that? And they say that it's okay for us even if we are converted because we are being protected. And then I used to tell her, when you think of you're a Hindu, you think you come and you just start chanting and you leave everything to Krishna and you see you get protection. But that patience, that perseverance, that this thing is lacking. People want quick results. You go, you have a problem, you go, you get a solution and you follow that, and quick relief, quick money, quick this thing. So this is ignorance, compassion, and most sadhvik people are also into it, Prabhuji, who are pious and who are this thing, are also because of that, that piety is getting diverted for small benefits, for small, because they want to be recognized, their ego gets boosted up, and just wanted to share. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Neeta Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
I
Hare.
just want to add on one point, as Anu Mataji has discussed, a very famous ashram in Delhi. The main attraction, I believe, is it's very convenient to them. It's not restricted. Nothing is restricted. Everything is allowed in that culture. So that is, I believe, main attraction for them. If I compare to Krishna consciousness.
It's leniency. It is given earlier when Prabhupada was preaching also. Some people asked, you don't keep 4 regulatory principles. You can reduce 1 or 2 among them so that more followers will come. But Prabhupada was not looking for followers, but he wanted the genuine devotees who really want to advance in Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Prabhuji. One of my colleagues, many of my colleagues are following actually that. So they keep asking me, what is the need? You have so much cholesterol problem and all. Why are you leaving lesson? Garlic and onion, it's so good for you. So I just smile these days.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anu Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I would like to mention that when she said she was of a particular faith, I said, yeah, it is a very humane faith. But she did not reciprocate me with the same feeling. She said, idol worship is idol worship, idol. So I did not like, I said, no, but it has a purpose, a philosophy. But she just rejected me, and she has been brainwashed to such an extent that I said, what you're following is a humane faith. But she did not tell me that what I am following or what she heard me write was, she did not respect me for that. So I did not like that she's been brainwashed to the extent that she didn't like the portions of the essay which I had written. I did not like that. So I'm grateful to ISKCON for spreading books and giving me the knowledge that why idol worship is not idol worship. So I'm glad, because I reciprocated as, okay, it is nice that it is a humane faith, but she did not reciprocate to me in the same way. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. One of the biggest problem is we have not given the knowledge. We have only followed the rituals from generation to generation. So when the new generation comes, they only see the rituals. They don't know what is the meaning behind that ritual, because their previous generation has not taken to the knowledge part. They only followed it. So that is one of the reason why the new generation will go away from the spiritual practices, and they just consider it as a ritual, which will not be having any meaning in their life. And also those who are left the movement, they will have some kind of repulsion, because if they accept whatever you say is as correct, then they have the repentance of leaving. So why they have left there? That becomes a mistake from their part. So for that reason also they will not accept whatever you speak to them. Anyhow, Krishna consciousness is there all over the world. Prabhupada has made it as a movement for the entire world. Anybody who is sincere, they can practice, and they can take benefit and go back to Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one more thing, they discuss like your Krishna and my Krishna, which is very funny. How to give a perfect reply to them? How can we differentiate my Krishna and your Krishna?
No, they see Krishna in different ways. Like Krishna's some pastimes they like, and some pastimes they don't like. So they say that your Krishna, which they don't like, and what they like, they consider my Krishna. Like there are people who worship Krishna's certain pastimes, and some other, just like Bhagavad Gita also. People take certain instructions from Bhagavad Gita, and certain portion of the Bhagavad Gita they reject. This is not correct. And Krishna was wrong here. This is Krishna has told correct. So I'll accept this. So they will become more than Krishna. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Bhakti.
Let us continue our discussion. Those who would like to read, they can raise their hand. Neeta Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Divisions of faith. Therefore, Krishna says here, Trivida Bhakti Shraddha Dahinam Sa Swabhavoja. If one is cultivating his life like hawks and cats and dogs, the behavior is also like that and remaining in that position. So his faith in one who is advanced, who is worshipping deity and having 3 times bath and chanting mantras, Hare Krishna, they are not equal. Hare Krishna.
Continue, Mataji.
That is not possible because one is situated in the Sattva Guna and other is situated in Tamo Guna. Although the Tamo Gunas, the persons who are in the darkness of knowledge, they have got their faith. It is not that they have no faith, they have got faith, but that faith is in the lowest status of life, and that faith will not help him to spiritual realization. Bhagavad Gita 17.1-3, Honolulu, July 4, 1974. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Now, in the 17th chapter, there are 3 parts. The first part is the first 10 text, that is faith, worship, and food in the 3 modes. And in the second part, 11 to 22, it is talking about sacrifices, austerities, and charity in 3 modes. And finally, by chanting Om Tat Sat, a person can purify all his activities and it can be offered to the Lord. Now, there are austerities in 3 modes, that is goodness, passion, and ignorance. The austerity of the body, austerity of the words, and austerity of the mind. This is there from the text number 14 to 19. Text number 14 is talking about the Sharira Tapa Uchyate. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shaucha Marjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. This is the austerity told for the body, where the person is offering his obeisances to the Deva, Dvija, and Guru, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Brahmanas, and Guru, the spiritual master, and all his superiors. He is offering his obeisances, and cleanliness, that is the Shaucham, and Arjavam, simplicity, Brahmacharyam, following the celibacy, and Ahimsa, non-violence. All these are considered as the austerities of the body. And austerities of the words, how a person should speak. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tava uchyate. Speaking without agitating somebody's mind. When we speak to someone, when we answer to somebody's question, the answer should not be agitating to them. This is a general instruction. But a person who has taken shelter under his spiritual master, at that time the spiritual master can chastise him for his own good. Just like Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna in the 2nd chapter, he chastises Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna has surrendered to Krishna, and now it is the it has become Krishna's duty to chastise Arjuna and bring him in the right direction. So in general, words are like Anudvega Karam. Our speech should not be agitating to anybody. It should be truthful, pleasing, and beneficial to all. But when spiritual master speaks to his disciples, then there he has to speak the truth, even though it is a little harsh to the disciple. And controlling the mind, Mana Prasada Saumyato Maunam Atma Vinigraha Bhava Samshuddhirityata Tapo Manasa Muchyate. So 14, 15, and 16th text, that is mind, it should be always satisfied, and simplicity, there should not be any duplicity. Mind, the face is the index of mind. So whatever happens in the mind, it will be visible in the face. So there should not be any cunning. The person he should be living a pure life, and gravity and self-control, purity of heart. These all are the austerities given for the mind. Then the 18th text, it is talking about the passion, how a passionate person will act. That is Satkaramana pujartham tapo dambhena chaivayat kriyate tadiha proktam rajasam salam adhruvam. So these are the qualities of a person who is in the mode of passion. Out of pride, for respect, honor, and worship from others, he is performing this austerity. He just want to get some name and fame. Everyone is looking at me, and everyone will glorify me. That's why I call so many people to my house and do big yajna, austerities, all tapasya I will do, so that people will glorify me. So if this is your motto, then that kind of austerity is in passion. And in the ignorance, moodagrahena atmano yat pidaya kriyate tapaha parasyotsyadanartham va tattamasam udahrita. In ignorance, a person is foolish. He don't know what to be done, what is to be done, and what is not to be done, and he is doing the self-torture. Pidaya means torturing himself, and also the Paramatma who is present within the body. He is torturing him also, because just like, even though there is no direct pain that is felt by the Lord, but still, when a person does mistake or when he is going in the wrong direction, the Lord will feel the pain. Just like when the child is suffering with some disease, the mother will be suffering more than the child. Similarly, when a person forgets Krishna and he is taking a wrong direction, or he is doing something which is not correct, then the Lord is also getting that pain. The Paramatma in the body, he also has to take the pain. And he will injure himself. People, we can see, they pierce their body with so many needles, and such kind of practices are there. These all are the austerities which are in ignorance. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Austerity of speech. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others. Bhagavad Gita 17.15.
Thank you. So this is in general, the speech should not be having any agitating way. That is, it should be very pleasing to the people. Just like you can take the example of a Ramayana. When Hanuman, he met Sita Devi, he did not say Rama is fine. He told, fine, Rama is. That is, if he starts with the name Rama, then Sita Devi immediately she may get she may be afraid. What happened to Rama? So he first tells he is okay, he is fine. Rama, Lord Rama is fine. Like that he speaks. Then also when he came back to Sita, came back to Krishna, Lord Rama, he also there he speaks. Sita Devi is fine. So first he says she is fine. Then he uses the name Sita. So Drishtva Sita. First he says Drishtva. Drishtva means I saw. Then he says Sita. So first he brings the word which is pleasing to the mind. Then he speaks the person's name. So this is a Anudvega Karam Vakya. Some people, what they do, when they speak, we don't understand what they are going to conclude with. They'll speak for so many long sentences they make. And by the end of that sentence only we'll come to conclusion, whether it is good or bad. So the person who is listening to that, he will be always in agitation, what he is going to speak now. So such kind of speech is not recommended here. Anudvega Karam. And also when we speak, we should speak politely. Even if you are telling something very painful also, it should be spoken in a right manner, and it should be communicated with the right person. Everything cannot be spoken by everyone. there are different ways how you can speak. If you are speaking to our elders, it is better to take help from another person who can give that information or speak to them, or any clarification if we want. We should not directly go and question that person. We should have respect for their position or age. We should take help from the right person, and then we can approach them. But Prabhupada says in another way, when the teacher is speaking to the disciple, then how it should be. Puja Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Austerity of speech. When a teacher speaks, he can speak the truth for the instruction of his students. But such a teacher should not speak to those who are not his students if he will agitate their minds. 17.5 purport. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So it is very, very important to surrender to the spiritual master. Unless we surrender to the spiritual master, he will not speak the truth directly, because we are not still yet ready to accept the truth, whatever he is going to say. So it is first surrender, then we can question. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. The Guru knows what is good for us and what is bad. And when we surrender to him, when we accept him as our spiritual master, then he can correct us. Om ajnanati mirandasya jnananjana shalakaya. He will give the light so that our ignorance will be, the darkness of ignorance will be removed. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Austerity of speech. It is social convention that if you want to speak truth, you speak truth very palatable, flattering. Don't speak unpalatable truth. But we are not meant for that purpose. Social convention. We are preacher, we are servant of God. We must speak the real truth. You may like it or may not like it. That a godless civilization cannot be happy in any stage. That is a fact. Lecture to college students, Seattle, October 20, 196. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Prabhupada spoke always the truth, even though it is palatable or not palatable, but he is speaking for the good for everyone. If nobody speaks the truth, then people will remain in ignorance. So one who is a preacher, he must speak the truth, because he has surrendered to Krishna, so Krishna will protect them. Next comes the charity. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Charity in the modes. There are three kinds of charity: Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Sattvic charity in goodness is with due consideration. That is the worthy place to give charity in the hands of Brahmanas and Vaishnava, because they will employ whatever you give them in the service of the Lord. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, just a minute. You can continue.
And Rajasic means for the sake of name. Oh, people will say I'm so charitable. That is Rajasic.
Next one.
And Tamasic, one who does not know where the money is going. Just like in the Bowery street, that drunkard comes and polishes the motor car, and somebody gives $5 and he immediately goes to drink. That means this charity means give him impetus for drinking. So if charity creates such drunkards, oh, that is very dangerous. He has to suffer, the man who is giving in charity. Lecture, Los Angeles, February 2nd, 1968. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. These are the charity in goodness, passion, and ignorance. The charity in goodness, it will bring good for everyone. So here the charity given for Krishna conscious purpose. Just like when we distribute a book, the Bhagavad Gita and other Prabhupada books, both are getting benefited. The person who is purchasing the book, he is getting the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge. And also when he is paying for the book, the money which is given, it is used in the service of the Lord. So in both sides, it is the benefit. And the charity which is given to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas for the service of the Lord, this is also charity in the mode of goodness. And the Rajasic means a person who is working for money and name and fame. He wants his name to be printed, or he wants somebody to glorify him for making the charity. So this kind of charity is the charity in the mode of passion, and the charity in the mode of ignorance or tamoguna, where a person is giving the money without any respect, and he is not at all bothered for what purpose that money will be used. Such kind of charity is in the mode of ignorance. People will use it for drinking or other drugs and all other activities. The person who is giving the charity, he also suffer for the same, because in the law also, if you are supporting some illegal activities by giving some money, then you also will be caught for that, because you are indirectly supporting the person who is creating the illegal activity. Similarly, in the law of God, when we support somebody's sense gratification, or which makes them to go to the hell, we also have to take the reaction. So that was the chapter number 17 in brief. We'll see 18th chapter, the first part. The Bhagavad Gita, actually it ends at 17 chapters. Whatever Krishna wanted to speak, he has already spoken. Actually, Krishna has given all the instructions at in the 12th chapter itself. And from 13th chapter, he is explaining about the material nature. And then comes the 14th chapter about the modes, and 15th chapter about the comparison of spiritual world and material world. All these things are based on the question of Arjuna. Krishna is explaining. And at this 17th chapter, whatever philosophy that has to be given, it's all over. Next 18th chapter is like the summary. Just like a very good teacher, he will summarize the topic after completing the his class. Every session, after at the end of the session for 5-10 minutes, he will repeat all the points that are explained from the beginning till the end, so that the students will be able to recall such things, and they can ask some questions if they have any. Otherwise, what happens when you come to the end of the session, we may not remember what happened in the beginning of the session. So Krishna is repeating such things. So the first 6 chapters are Karma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. So 18th chapter begins with the Karma Yoga. And then the second, the last part is Jnana Yoga. So it continues to the Jnana Yoga. Then finally it comes to the Bhakti Yoga. Then he speaks about the control by 3 modes. This is again continuation of the topics from the 17th chapter, the 3 modes, and prescribed duties for Karma Yoga based on the Varnashrama systems. And Jnana Yoga, when a person comes to the perfection in Jnana Yoga, he comes to the Brahma Bhuta state. That is the first part of 18th chapter. Let us see that in brief. Puja Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Raise oneself to the standard of goodness. One has to raise himself at least to the mode of goodness before the path to understanding the Supreme Lord can be opened. Without raising oneself to the standard of the mode of goodness, one remains in ignorance and passion, which are the cause of demoniac life. 16.24 purport. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this mode of goodness is like the, for a flight, there is a runway. If you want to gain certain speed, it has to run on the runway, and then it has to take off. Similarly, a person who wants to go back to Godhead, he has to transcend all the 3 modes, but at the same time, there is a need for coming to the mode of goodness. When a person comes to mode of goodness, his thinking becomes very clear. He will develop the knowledge, and he can practice Krishna consciousness without any difficulty, without any problem. And it is very conducive to think about Krishna. He is always peaceful, happy, no anxiety. Such kind of difficulties are gone, and all the reactions of his sinful activities are gone. So he comes to the goodness. So goodness is the minimum qualification for a person to advance in Krishna consciousness. But at the same time, when a person practices Krishna consciousness, it itself will take care. When a person is in the mode of ignorance or in the passion, it will bring first to the mode of goodness, then it will help him to go beyond the three modes. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Raise oneself to the standard of goodness. Without coming to the platform of Sattva Guna, nobody can advance its spiritual life. That is a fact. Just like nobody is allowed to enter the law college unless he is graduate. This restriction is there. What he will understand? Law. He must be a graduate. So, similarly, first of all, one has to come to the platform of Sattva Guna, then spiritual knowledge begins. Bhagavad Gita 17.1 to 3, Honolulu, July 4th, 1974. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Prabhupada is giving the example. If we want to continue our education, there is some prerequisite. If you want to go to the 10th standard, you must have finished your 9th standard. Directly, you cannot jump. Similarly, if you want to go for the degree, then you have to do the 12th standard, or you have to do the previous studies. If you want to go for the masters, then you have to finish the bachelor's degree. So like that, without having pre-qualification, one cannot practice the next coming degree. Similarly, here also, unless a person comes to the mode of Sattva Guna, he cannot advance in the spirituality. Puja Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Though Krishna consciousness, society will develop the mode of goodness. Since the present civilization is not very congenial to the living entities, Krishna consciousness is recommended. Through Krishna consciousness, society will develop the mode of goodness. When the mode of goodness is developed, people will see things as they are. 14.17 purport. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. This is the goal of the society. We are making so many plans for bringing peace in the society so that everyone can remain happily in society. So the best way to bring peace in the society is make everyone Krishna conscious, so that they will be at least in the mode of goodness, and they will be working for the betterment of every living entity. A Vaishnava, he is always paradukha dukhi. By seeing others' unhappiness, he will also become unhappy, and he will not create any unhappiness for others. So in that way, the society also will be peaceful, and every person will get an opportunity to go back to Godhead, and they can practice Krishna consciousness peacefully. So there is a need for spreading this Krishna consciousness everywhere. This we can see now also, wherever there are devotees, the society becomes more peaceful, and they will be happy, and they will perfect their spiritual life. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Through Krishna consciousness, society will develop the mode of goodness. Even one is not in goodness, even one is in the darkest part of the quality of ignorance, still he can be immediately elevated to the spiritual platform. So this Krishna consciousness movement is directly offering the spiritual platform, which is above the mode of goodness. The quality of goodness will automatically be there. Bhagavad Gita 2.40 to 45, Los Angeles, December 13, 1960. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So even though a person is degraded, he may not be in the mode of goodness, or he may be in the darkest part. That means he might have done all kinds of sinful activities. But still, if he's taking to Krishna consciousness, the process is so powerful that it doesn't need any prayaschitta or the atonement to clear or to come to the mode of goodness. He can easily come to goodness just by practicing this Krishna consciousness. And also, whenever a person is practicing devotional service, if he falls down, if he is not able to practice anymore, then there is no need to make any separate atonement. He can just continue whatever practice he is doing, And with that practice itself, with that chanting itself, the purification will happen, and he can again gradually advance in the spiritual life and come to the mode of goodness, and then he can transcend the three modes. So that is the beauty of this Krishna consciousness movement. One can directly come in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Tada rajas tamo bhava kama lobha lobha dayascha cheta etai navi anavidham stitham sattve prasidati.
Read the translation.
Stitham sattve. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart of heart, the effects of nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. Srimad Bhagavatam 1, Canto 1, 2.19, quoted in 7.1 purport. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. This is the importance of Shravanam. By continuously hearing about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the mouth of a pure devotee, the heart, which is full of ignorance, it gets cleared, and it will be able to advance in Krishna consciousness. Cheto Darpanamarjana, the mirror, which is compared to the heart, it is getting cleared by the pouring of water, that is the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So regularly chanting and hearing about the Lord, the person can come out of the mode of ignorance, and he can advance in the spiritual life. These are some of the objectives that we have seen, presented an overview of the Gita chapter 17 and the beginning of 18th chapter, and merits of various religious practices with respect to Krishna's analysis of the faith, and discussed appropriate and inappropriate charity with reference to Bhagavad Gita. Appropriate means the mode of goodness is appropriate, and mode of ignorance is inappropriate, and mode of passion also inappropriate. Then discuss the importance of developing the mode of goodness, why we should develop the mode of goodness. These three modes, we can analyze the three modes into all the activities, all the thought process, whatever we do, we can just check every action. Is it mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance? And if we find that it is in the mode of goodness, it's good. And if it is passion or ignorance, then there is a need for changing that activity. How Krishna consciousness is independent of the mode of goodness. The spirituality is free from all the three modes, because all the three modes are binding. The iron chain, the silver chain, or the golden chain. The goodness is like the golden chain, but still it is a bondage. We cannot free ourselves with the bondage. So if you want to free yourself, one should be free from all the three modes. So goodness is also binding the person. The symptom of a goodness is the person becomes very happy, and he is very knowledgeable. So when a person becomes too knowledgeable, he may become pride. And when he is too happy, then he may become lazy. So this pride can lead to passion, and laziness can lead to ignorance. So there is always a chance for gliding down. So one should always try to go up, or one should try to advance more in spiritual life, so that there is no chance of fall down. Okay, finally, Prabhupada says, Puja Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Because people have no education in actual knowledge, they become irresponsible. To stop this irresponsibility, education for developing the mode of goodness of the people in general must be there. When they are actually educated in the mode of goodness, they will become sober in full knowledge of things as they are. Then people will be happy and prosperous. Hare Krishna.
Continue, Mataji.
Even if the majority of the people aren't happy and prosperous, if a certain percentage of the population develops Krishna consciousness and becomes situated in the mode of goodness, then there is the possibility for peace and prosperity all over the world. 14.17 perfect. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Always the number of Brahmanas are less in number, but still they can guide the society. It is always the people who are followers or the Shudras, they are more in number, and Kshatriyas are lesser than them, and the Vaishyas are lesser than them, and Kshatriyas are even less, and Brahmanas are even less in number, because they are the people who are guiding the society. The Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, in the true sense. One who is giving the vision to the society, one who is protecting the society, one who is working for the economic development, and then finally, one who is serving all the people. So what Prabhupada says here, even if we make a small amount of people, a small percentage of people in the society into Krishna consciousness, it can change the world. So the mode of goodness is so powerful that it can remove all the ignorance. Just like if you have a small source of light, it can break the thick darkness which is present in a room. The darkness may be very thick, but still if it is, if you bring a small light, it can remove that darkness. And a devotee asked Prabhupada once, by seeing the developments that were happening in the ISKCON society, he asked, Prabhupada, if you are spreading Krishna consciousness so fast, then everyone in the planet will become Krishna conscious. Then what will happen to this world? Then Prabhupada says, what is the problem? Let everyone become devotee. The world will run in peacefully. Then Prabhupada says once again, don't worry, people like you will not take to it. There are people who doesn't take it seriously. So let us make people, as many people as possible. Let us spread this Krishna consciousness in whatever way that is possible. We can distribute the books, we can distribute prasadam, we can invite them for the programs, for the classes, and in whatever way possible, we should make people to understand the importance of this knowledge and practice of Krishna consciousness. The result is already visible. Whole world has taken to this, and many national and international leaders have glorified the work that Prabhupada has made, and it is changing the face of the globe. So it should continue like this. More and more people should take advantage of Prabhupada books. They should read it and understand what is ritual and what is spiritual. What is the difference? Without knowing the actual spirit, if we simply practicing the rituals, then it will not last long. The new generation is questioning why you are doing all these activities. So if you are not in a position to answer them, then we are losing our own culture. So there is a need for practice of Krishna consciousness. Let us practice ourselves first, then let us teach this to others as well. So with this, we have concluding the this today's lesson. If anybody has any question, they can raise their hand and ask the question. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have two questions which may be a little silly. First one is, Prabhu, we keep using religion, the word religion. What exactly is the definition of religion?
Yeah, general definition is the faith people follow, in which they belong to. But at the present moment, it has become a political naming for a person to which religion he belongs, in that way. Otherwise, the faith or the which we follow is the Varnashrama system. In the true sense, Varnashrama is made for the glory of the Lord. It is like a stepping stone towards the spirituality. And everyone can live prosperously in this world without getting into impious activities in whatever situation one may be. he can elevate himself to the mode of goodness, and he can transcend it if he is taking to it. But it is a very slow process. But in general, at the present society, religion means it is a categorization of people based on their birth. So that is what is happening. But in earlier days, if you're taking in true sense, what is Varnashrama system means? Guna karma vibhagashaha. Based on the guna, the qualities, and the karma, the activities the person is performing. Based on that, the person will be categorized. Why this categorization is? To bring peace in the society. We should know who is the person eligible for giving the vision, and who has taken the responsibility of protection, and who is working for the economic development, and who is ready for serving everyone. So this kind of need is there, but that is presently also it is working, because Krishna has told Chaturvaranyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. So when Krishna has made something, it cannot be destroyed, but it is used for sense gratification. How it is? Because people are not interested in advancing in Krishna consciousness or coming to spirituality. But this kind of 4 divisions are there in every country, either in India or in other foreign countries. If you take any example of the neighboring countries where these systems are not there, where there is no proper visionary, no leader, and no military, you can see the neighboring countries, how people are suffering, how people are killing each other. So a person comes to the civilized life when there is Varna and Ashrama. There should be a student life, there is a household life, then retired life, then the sannyasa. These all are systems which are there in society. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are following it without knowing the true spirit of that the division. And people fight with each other. You belong to this, we belong to that, and I am the great, you are the lower, and why you are criticizing me? Like that, people keep fighting over that without knowing what is the actual purpose behind making such divisions.
Exactly. Yes, Prabhu. But an additional question to this. I understand perfectly, I mean, somewhat perfectly what you say, because I have been in Krishna consciousness. I am dealing with non-Krishna conscious persons on a daily basis. And many times I am wasting my time and effort defending this movement and my belief in it. Yeah. I don't want to use the word religion there. So how do I, because they immediately think that, first of all, they think about Hinduism versus the other religions. And second of all, I don't want to tell them that I'm defending that religion. I mean, what I'm supposed to have been born in or whatever. I am trying to say something else altogether, but that religion word is very, very, it sparks of unnecessary thought and debate and that way, Prabhu. So how do I say what I am or...
There are 2 things, Mataji. One is the religion, other one is philosophy. Both should go together.
Yes.
If you have only religion without philosophy, it is just a sentiment. And if you have only philosophy without religion, it is like mental speculation. Because you don't have any practice, you are only having some philosophy. That doesn't work.
Yes.
So you don't introduce them the philosophy or the religion, which is means to say, don't make them to understand that you are speaking about certain religious activity. You just speak with the logic. This logic will work everywhere, in whatever place you may be. Just like the mathematics. If you say 5 into 2 is 10, it may be India or England or America, it is all same. So logic is like how you introduce this Krishna consciousness to them in a way that it is the necessity for each and every living entity. So there are many preachers who have given inputs for this. You can go through it. The simple way we can say that how to find the happiness. As the Brahma Sutra says, Anandamayo Abhyasat. Every living entity wants to become happy.
Yes.
Now the question is how to become happy. There is no question that somebody wants to become unhappy. An ant also wants to become happy. A dog also wants to become happy. A cat also wants to become happy. They all want to find a place where they can sleep nicely. They can have a good food somewhere, somebody will take care of them. If they all have all those things, they are happy. So everyone is trying to become happy. But are they trying able to become happy? That question you can ask. Then you can explain about the process, how this Krishna consciousness will work. So first of all, we should introduce them what is life, what is common among human beings and animals. The animals are also living, we are also living. But is there any difference, or are we simply living like animals? Now, what is the difference? The animals don't have the ability to think beyond 4 things: ahara, nidra, bhaya, maitunamsa. So this is the verse which is spoken. You don't speak the verse in Sanskrit. You can only say that eating, sleeping, mating, and defending is common for animals and human beings. But human beings can think about the tomorrow. But animals, they don't think about the tomorrow. So are you thinking about the tomorrow? Then if they'll definitely say yes. Then how much you are able to think, and are you able to do something for your tomorrow? So in that way, you can make the ice breaking. It doesn't matter to which religion they belong. So gradually they will listen to you, and you can by hearing to them. This is how the Krishna consciousness is explained in the colleges, because there all mixed people will be there. Then you can ask them who you are. Are you this body, or are you something else? You don't give the answer. You just give them some hint. It is just like when you are not able to convince someone, you can confuse them at least.
Okay.
Whatever you can just make them that they don't know. So then they will find the answer by themselves. When a person is firmly fixed that whatever he knows itself is complete, and you just break their that understanding or ignorance, then you are just creating some instability, so that they will come up with some other answer, or they will surrender to you. They will, if they are, if you have, it is also important what kind of relation, that is how close you are to them. If they are very good friend of you, you have helped them, or you have given them a lot of prasadam earlier, or you are regularly visiting them, talking to them when they are in sad, if you are giving some support to them, then they will easily listen to you. So that is also important. It all matters.
What I have learned, Prabhu, is you must, I mean, in Krishna consciousness, we must say, give reference from the Shastras. So that quiets a lot of people, because they have no clue. They're very vociferous when it comes to forwarding messages that claim to be, like propagating Sanatan Dharma, but they wouldn't even know what it means. And they've never opened a Bhagavad Gita all their lives, Prabhu.
Yeah, that is not possible in the beginning itself. Religion, you cannot introduce directly, because people are of different faith.
Yes, Prabhu.
You have to understand what is their situation, and accordingly you have to speak.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's like a person who is very educated. You can ask them, what is the meaning of your education? What are you going to get? By that one question, a lot of thoughts will come to his mind.
Okay.
How are you trying to become happy? If yes, have you become happy by getting all these things? And if it is no, then what is the real way to become happy? So a number of questions you can make.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So that logic you have to use.
We'll try, Prabhu. Not succeeding so far with even one person. Prabhuji, there's one more question, if you don't mind. Can I ask, please?
Yes,
Prabhu, you had today's discussion question that you had given specific reference to Krishna's analysis of faith in the modes as described in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, verses 1 to 3.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it completely, Prabhu. Can you please explain it a little bit?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Krishna is explaining Trivida Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sasabhavaja. Satvaki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi. He is categorizing the people based on which mode they are in. So when a person is practicing in the mode of goodness, how he will practice, or in the mode of passion, what is his practice? tamasic, the ignorance practices, how it will be. These things you have to explain. Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata shraddhamayam purusho yo yad shraddha eva sa eva saha yajante satvika devan yaksharakshansi rajasa pretan bhuta ganashchanye yajante tamasajana. So here, the person who is in Satvik, he will worship the demigods.
Yes,
The person who is in Rajasic, he will worship the Yaksharakshasa. There is an example of a person who worshipped Hitler during the World War. Why? Because of Hitler, there was a black market, which was possible, and through that black market, he made a lot of money. So he considered Hitler as his god. So he started worshipping him. That is Rajasic. And Tamasic means people who worship the Bhuta Preta, the ghost. They will offer them the meat, liquor, all these things. These all are Tamasic way of worship. So those things you have to explain.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Akhila Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Guruji, partially shall I answer for Nandita Mataji's question?
Yes, Mataji.
She told no, Hindu is not a religion. It is a Sanatana Dharma. For Dharma word, no, equivalent English word itself is not there. Christianity, Muslim can be a religion because there except Jesus or nothing is there. But our Sanatana Dharma, we give respect for each and everything. We do Nagara, that Nagara Panchami, as well as we worship Bali Chakravarti. So we give importance for everything. That is the speciality of Sanatana Dharma. Dharma means nothing but of like going in perfect path. So actually, that's all.
Thank you, Mataji.
Prabhuji, one more question. Like in this particular chapter, we get Om Tat Sat, right? That means Om Tat Sat.
Yes.
So based on this, I have one question.
Yeah.
This question should not be asked, but I have curiosity.
Yeah.
So suppose if you consider one mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So if I add Om Tat Sat Bhagavate Vasudevaya, so then the weightage of mantra will be more.
No. Mantra cannot be edited like that.
Okay.
It has to be spoken as it is. Om Tat Sat means it's a conclusion. Prabhupada also writes some places after finishing his writing, he will write Om Tat Sat. That is the end of conclusion. Conclusive words. That is Om Tat Sat. I offer everything to the Lord. The Om means the Omkara. It is referring to the Lord. Tat means that which is the explanation is given, uttered by persons aspiring for liberation for material from material entanglement, perform sacrifice, austerity, and charity without desiring fruitive result. And Sat means the Sadbhave Sadbhave. That is, no auspicious workers, sacrifice, austerity, and charity are performed to please the Supreme Person. That is the Sat. And in the purport, there is also Asat is explained. In the 28th text, it is explained what is Asat also. Asat means which is not permanent. Sat means which is permanent.
One more question.
Yeah.
Then you told like speech austerity. Like if people criticize us, no, then it is the process of rectifying the mistake. No, like if they won't criticize, if not audible.
No. It was not clear what you told.
Okay. No, like speech austerity. Like you told speech austerity. No, if people criticize us, no, then like I can rectify my mistake. If everyone start appreciating my speech, there's no process of rectifying. So I think I will be the supreme. So if agitating speech or whatever, if they tell like I can rectify, like, oh, it's my mistake, I had to, like, it is the process of rectifying. Perfect.
Yeah, that is happening between the disciple and the spiritual master.
So I can't like meet the spiritual master always. No, that's what I mean to say. If common people criticize me, it's like it's a feedback for like.
Yeah, that's what it is told. Okay. When a common people, or in general, when we speak to someone, our words should not be agitating to others. And when we go to spiritual master, he will be able to criticize, or he will positively or chastise, so that we will improve. This is true even for parents. Parents, the child may do 100 good things, but if one wrong thing he has done, they will highlight that and they will chastise. So that they don't want them to be pampered, but they want to make them right. That is possible for parents. Parents can chastise their children.
That's good. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Any other question? So dharma also, Mataji, it is told, dharma means dharayati. One which possesses is dharma. Dharma can possess everything. It is like, say, for example, 5 thieves, they have stolen from the bank. They have taken all the money and now they want to distribute the money among themselves. Now they say that we have to distribute this money equally. That means they are going to dharma. They have got that money in adharmic way, but they want, for themselves, they want dharma. So only dharma can dharayati. It can bring the peace in the society, or it can make a person to possess, or he can live with that dharma. Even Hiranyakashipu, he has created a lot of turmoil in the entire 14 planetary systems. But when Prahlad Maharaj comes to him, he asked him, you must obey your father. This is dharma. So even a Rakshasa also wants dharma to follow, even though he do adharma to others. Because through adharma, he will try to get some quick results. But for himself, nobody should tell lie. Nobody should cheat him. Nobody should harm him. So we want to live in dharma, even though we do adharma for others. So that is the glory of dharma, the meaning of dharma. Dharma means dharayati. Only if there is dharma, somebody can live peacefully. Even though a person is a very cruel, very big cheater, whatever he may be, but he also desires whole world should do dharma for me. Nobody should do adharma. So that is the another way of understanding what is dharma. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Neeta Mataji had a question. Mataji.
You can unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
I was just trying to make notes of closed book assessment. I'm having doubts in question number 28, 31, and 32.